It is the eve of Mbali's exam season. She's trying to lay her restless toddler to sleep in the hopes that she can get some time to study in a quiet environment. The little man has been wailing for over an hour. Stressed and exhausted with no end in sight, she decides to give in and accept that she'll probably never be ready for tomorrow's exam. The challenges that come with having to complete an academic year are not foreign to anyone who has undergone tertiary education. Mbali Mazibuko, a third-year communication sciences student, has had to juggle her full-time job as an office assistant at the Lesedi Hospital in Soweto, her studies at Unisa, and her role of being a mother to her 3-year-old son, Zanubuhle. Mbali's story is not a unique narrative. It is one that many other students across the country and even globe are faced with. A 2017 study conducted by the Hetchinger Report revealed that upon completing their household responsibilities and work outside their academics, university students who were parents to toddlers or preschoolers often had about 50% less time for essential activities such as studying and even sleeping compared to their classmates without children. In addition, student parents are 10 times less likely to complete an undergraduate degree within 5 years in comparison to their non-parent counterparts.
He's just one person that loves attention. He loves getting attention from me. So it would just be a bit difficult to get my studies going. But yeah, nonetheless, we try to make it work. So yeah, and then after studying, I'd have to go back to the house, start cooking, start, making food for the baby. So it is quite a lot. It is quite a lot. By the end of the day, I'm just drained. I pretty much don't have a social life because my weekends are always fully booked. I'm super busy even during the weekends, and when I say I'm busy, I mean busy around the house, busy with chores, busy with my son, busy with school, and yeah, it's just it really is a lot.
Student parents are often faced with the dilemma of having to compromise on being either a good parent or a good student. This means that they spend less time with their children as schoolwork has to be prioritized. Claudine Ribeiro, a social worker and director of the Johannesburg Parents and Child Counseling Center, told Vuvuzela about how parents-child dynamics can be affected if they do not spend much time together, more especially in the child's toddler stages.
Obviously having children, especially very young children, it is a time-consuming kind of activity. So as long as there's attachment, that's the most important thing, and that's what we feel is at the core of some of the problems we see, is that when the young child doesn't attach probably to their parents or to their mother figure, that's where the problem comes in. Attachment doesn't mean you have to spend 24/7 with the child, but it does mean that when you are with the child, you spend good quality time with them, that your own headspace is right. So what we see as important is when there are support structures in place. So in the case of a student who's a parent, they need a lot of support structures. But that doesn't mean they have to hand over that responsibility to their parents or a granny or something. They can still parent and be the primary attachment figure for the child. But the parent, and they should be, that would be the ideal, that mom, even though she's a student and working on, is still the primary attachment figure. But that the family steps in as a support structure, helps her or him financially, helps them with childcare, helps them to just cope with the daily demands that they experience. But they would still, hopefully, best case scenario, remain the attachment figure for the child.
Although such pressures and stresses were present pre-pandemic, the COVID era made things increasingly difficult.
Things were less tense, they were not as frustrating and stressful. I ended up getting depressed. I was diagnosed with depression last December when I went to the doctor. They diagnosed me with depression. So, things before the pandemic, they were just a little tense, like less tense actually.
South Africa still lags in terms of the services offered compared to Western nations, where student parents are offered some form of support from their institution. A December 2012 article by The Guardian reports that some universities in the Western Hemisphere provide specific provisions to cater to this demographic, such as a childcare coordinator or an on-site nursery.
Honestly, in terms of the support that the varsity could give us, I could say that it would be really helpful for them to organize, people that are specializing in childcare or people that really understand what it feels like to be a parent and, a parent that is a student, rather a student that is a parent. So it would be really nice to have, those people that, okay, no, maybe you have to call them or you have to email them or something and you talk to them and they just take you through the whole experience. They give you coping techniques, how to cope, how to get, that emotional and psychological support would definitely go a long way because students end up getting depressed.
Facilities such as Wits Campus Health are primary healthcare clinics. This means that they offer basic health services considered essential. There aren't, however, any specific provisions aimed to cater to student mothers. Wits Vuvuzela spoke to Anna Molloy, the head of department at the Wits Campus Health, on how they tackle instances whereby a pregnant student or a student needs healthcare for their child. The information gathered from her is that there are no maternity and antenatal services provided by the clinic. If the child of a student needs urgent medical attention, then it will be provided. However, they will be referred to another clinic as Campus Health does not have medication supplies for babies. It is a difficult journey for those trying to attain a qualification as a parent, and it is significant for universities to take such students into account. This podcast episode is a part of the 2021 in-depth reporting project, Year of the Student. The full project with articles and other multimedia can be viewed on witsvuvuzela.com. This is a project produced by the Honours in Journalism class at the Wits Centre for Journalism. Please see the show notes for full credits.